Hey folks, it is the Nutty Knife Guy making a slight adjustment. Okay, hopefully I have better video, better audio. Thanks to a viewer. You know who you are. I sent him profuse thanks over the internet. To the sender of the camera, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think this will help a lot. We will soon find out. Having a little trouble figuring out how this gizmo works, but it's here. Again, I want to thank the guy who sent it to me. You are a true brother of the blade, and perhaps now a brother of the camera. I did a few tests in here. It seems like I'm going to get better sound and better video, so this is a good solid camera. It's a Canon camera, not a piece of junk. I am humbled and amazed that somebody who donated it, that they thought enough of the channel to do that. Today's video is one that I really didn't want to make, but I kind of thought it to be a bit necessary. Knives that I wish I hadn't bought. I've got in the neighborhood of 100 knives. I might have a little less than 100, may have a little more in my collection now. Haven't counted and really don't want to because that would be a pain. And most of them I'm not sorry I bought. You know, I like knives, so even a really crappy knife, I'm usually okay with it. But there are a few of them I just wish I didn't have, or I hadn't spent the money for, because they were disappointing in one way or the other. Now, that's a hard thing for me to say because I don't like to disparage other people's work or maybe turn somebody off on a particular knife company because of one example I may have come across. But every once in a while I get a truly crappy knife. Now, some of it's my fault because sometimes I'll see a knife at a flea market or some other thrift store, or even at a department store, and no, it's dubious. It's a company I haven't heard from. It's from, you know, China or Pakistan or Bangladesh or someplace like that, and the company doesn't have a real reputation for quality, or no reputation at all, because nobody's ever really heard of it. But I try to give those companies the benefit of the doubt because sometimes you can get real inexpensive gems. But you can also buy a lot of crap that way. And that's what this one's about. The first one is one that I am truly sorry I haven't bought. It is, well, actually it was a set from Cutlery. I found this at a local thrift shop. I had a few bucks burning a hole in my pocket that just said buy knife, Nutty Knife Guy. I do nutty knife things. But this is just all kinds of disappointing. I didn't get the sheaths out for any of these because the sheaths are crappier than the knives. But this is from an outfit from China called Cutlery. And it came with a little neck knife doohickey with kind of a really cheap plastic sheath. It wasn't ABS plastic, it wasn't Kydex, it was a cheap plastic sheath. I got my really strong magnets to do a tang check, and the tang is only down into here and it's set into the polymer with a polymer mold around it. So there is nothing holding it on. I think it's hilarious that they have this thing that looks like a big nut or bolt holding it on. That's just part of the plastic. These knives, this is one of the ones, all of these knives really, are like in the deepest bowels of my collection. They hardly see any daylight, unless I'm rearranging the collection or something. But they're knives and they're not broken or anything, so I can't bring myself to just throw them away. And I won't give these away because somebody might want to use them and they're really kind of useless. Here's a better look at the little neck knife. I don't know what they, I guess this would be good for skin and squirrel or something that's got a little gut hook on it, but I really wish I hadn't have bought it. Second is a dual knife set from United Cutlery. Truly, they are pieces of junk. Took forever to sharpen, really don't hold an edge that well. And came with a crappy sheath that you're supposed to be able to wear behind your belt. Yeah, you can get it on your belt, you can't wear them that way. But that kind of a rig, yeah, it's a personal protection rig, and the snaps on those things was so stiff, no matter how much WD-40 or Vaseline or whatever I use to try to lube. If you tried to get these things out in any kind of an exigent manner, you would die trying to get them out of the sheaths. Cheap, badly done. It will come to me. 420 stainless steel, and for some 420 is good and some 420 is bad. These are bad. As I said, they're not really good for anything. I may actually set up a board and try throwing these things one of these days, but I would call these a knife-like object. They barely qualify as knives. Now this one is the most expensive one that I'm going to show you today. This is a Honshu push dagger, and I finally did manage to get an edge on this. And this one is really bad. This, by the way, Honshu is a imprint company for United Cutlery. It's they're made by the same people. The Honshus are supposed to be a step up from the rest of the knife, a step up from the rest of the United line. Well, maybe some of the other Honshu offerings are, but this isn't. Again, ridiculously, came dull, ridiculously hard to sharpen. You can see the once pointy point is not pointy, because I wanted to get this thing sharp, because I actually wanted to carry this because it does feel really good, and it's got a really nicely designed handle, but the steel is brittle. So I just not something I decided I can depend on. And this was actually not an inexpensive knife, really. I believe this was around $40. It came with a very nice leather sheath. The sheath was good. In this case, the sheath came with a knife that was unworthy of being put in it. Okay. Like I said, this should be a quick one. This is really just to test the new camera. Then I have an Amtec. Now I'm not a hater of Amtecs. I did a video about that in defense of Amtec. Not all Amtec stuff is bad. A lot of people just say, ew, it's an Amtec. Not me. I have some. Okay. The camera shut off on me, so I'll have to splice this in. I'm assuming that there's some sort of time limit or something where the camera powers off. I said new camera, and I'm still learning. But anyway, this had a stupid little compass in it, which I immediately took out. Just because it was kind of insulting to the intelligence. It didn't work. I checked. So I don't know why somebody said, well, yeah, you know, this thing would be so much better if it had a crappy little compass in there that didn't work. This is fun to swing around. It truly is, but you can't use it for anything, really. The blade is thin. I'm not going to say that steel is junk, but it is a thin blade, and I don't think the steel would hold up to any kind of real use. It is. I do get this out and just do some drills with it every once in a while. But all in all, I should have spent this money on something better. And we have next another Amtec offering. Like I said, I don't hate Amtecs, but when they screw up, they really screw up. I mentioned this one in my Amtec video, and this was another one that I bought this as kind of an add-on to get over so free shipping limit. But it's only cost me $8, but you know that $8 could, like, you know, bought me a burger or something. It was very hard to sharpen. In fact, I had to wound up taking it out to a bench grinder to sharpen it. It was that dull. And in the process of doing that, I actually heated the friction from the bench grinder, actually heated the tip up to the point where it melted away. And then I had to reprofile the whole thing to get it back into anything approaching a useful point. Again, cheap plastic handle, really too small of a handle. All in all, unworthy to be in the rest of my collection, which is why it is down there with these ones in the bowels of my collection that I almost never get out. And very last, you have something that could have been good. And this is what really makes me mad. This could have been good. This is, what is this one? A Shadow Ops Karambit. It could have been good. It looks good. It has a very nice feel to it. And actually the handle glue is kind of coming off from what I can say. The handle is kind of shifting right now. Go figure. But this is cheap. This is crappy steel. Now, I'm going to say, this is another one. I bought another knife on Amazon. I wasn't a member of Amazon Prime at the time, so I went. I wanted to get free shipping on another knife on the order, so I was looking for stuff that I kind of wanted. It was cheap to get over that hump, to get free shipping. So I bought this for $5. And honestly, $5 is about all it's worth, if that. When I first got it, I started playing with it, and I said, wow, this is going to be like my yo-yo knife. And sometimes it was for a while until I banished it to the bowels of my collection. But just playing around with it, I was messing. I had a couple of old fan boxes, big corrugated cardboard boxes, and I went to slash them and have natty knife guy fun, and I actually bent the tip slashing cardboard. Straightened it out in the vise and relegated it to useless, to uselessness. I mean, it came reasonably sharp and is okay, but a Karambit is a fighting knife. That's all Karambits are. And since they really rely on piercing power to do their job, this ain't making it, folks. Bending a tip on cardboard? No. Not for any kind of a personal protection knife. Yes, $5, I understand that. But it still should be able to perform its function. If you're charging anybody any money for this, it should be able to do what it's supposed to do. And this can't. So, that's like I said. This is basically a test for the new camera. But I thought I'd get that out of the way. Some knives that I really wish I hadn't bought, because I don't even play with these knives all that much. At least a lot of the times when I buy an inexpensive knife and it's not all it's cracked up to be, it's still able to function as intended, and it's fun to play with. These really don't even live up to that. Do play with them sometimes because they are knives, and I hate being mean to knives. All knives should be cherished and told they're loved and appreciated, but these are kind of like unwanted stepchildren. You really can't put them out in the snow, but you don't necessarily want them around either. I know that's horrible, but you know, sometimes my sense of humor is dark. Sue me. Anyway, I am not going to give you my admonishment with any of these knives. I am going to give you an admonishment with a decent knife. 2. Draw your blades only in just purpose. Sheathe them only with honor, and to remember that without knives, life would be dull and pointless. Please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. That really makes me happy, and it'll help the channel grow. Again, shout out for the great person, the brother of a blade, that donated this camera. I'll figure out how to use it better and make more videos with it. I will actually do a knife review sometime this week once I figure out the ins and outs of this camera a little better. And with that, I bid you goodbye.